Evangelist Adeyemi, do you agree that the house is standing very solid?
If Sharon's was not standing, we will not be. If you look across the various divides, they are still using the same logo for this anniversary celebration. The song leader for 40 years. Father considered it for another 40 years before CNS was started. When we don't understand this, we will begin to think that CNS just like any other church. There is a purpose for this order.
Godmother is gone, Mama is gone. Where is he heading us to?
Saint Moses Malade Tolashi was not called like any other evangelist, preacher, he was sent.
A house divided against itself cannot stand, they say. But it's been 100 years. Despite that, this movement has been shaken almost to the foundations based on different factors, particularly schism. Despite the fact that so many sects numbering over, well over 10 or even say 20 have emerged, each with their different approach and different interpretation of the vision of the founder. So what exactly is it? A celebration or a call for introspection? 100 years. Is the church really standing? Is that house really standing? Or is it a time bomb waiting to explode? And then there is another question that begs to be answered. Are there two founders or just one? Did this movement start from just one root, or there are different roots to begin? Well, these and more are what we are going to be looking at and of course answering in this episode of the Cheser Media Podcast. And I say you are welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Of course, I know this is an interesting topic. You will definitely agree with me. So ensure that you stick with us till the very end, because this is another avenue for you to amass knowledge about the church, whether you are a member of the church or not. If you're not a member, you must definitely have heard one or two things or seen or known about the church that you need clarity on. So this is the very right avenue for you to do that. I am Layo Shobo Folori Show. And once again, I say you're welcome to the second episode of the Cheser Media Podcast. Definitely, I'm not going to be doing this alone. You know, I have my co-host in the house, just sitting across and they're looking at it, they look my eye. Alpha Bertope, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Thanks, Layo, for that wonderful, solid introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, anywhere you're watching us from. You're welcome to another interesting episode of the Cheser Media Podcast. It's sure going to be a wheel of time. Just come as we dive into the many questions, many shy away from. Yes.
I mean, so yes, as you know, we will not be the ones doing the discussion and the talking. Because if you ask me how much knowledge do I even have about this thing, I just grow meat like that.
Yesterday, the bonus.
Not yesterday. So in the house, I have with me, we have sitting across the room just beside Bertope, we have Dr. Aki Owolabi. He's the former Secretary General of the CNS Unification, and he's the current leader in charge of the Chapel of Restoration, domiciled in the Seraphim Land, Maba. You're welcome, sir. It's so good to have you.
Thank you very much. Let me quickly correct an impression.
Oh, okay.
I'm simply Apostle Aki Owolabi.
Not doctor.
Not doctor.
Okay.
All
Thank you
sir.
very much for that.
Thank you.
And then, so moving to this side where I am seated on my far right, I'm kind of going to tell a story. I have a man that has showed me humility and high authority. I never expected it. And I will never forget. So this is what happened. I had met him before. It was just an interview session. It just brushed. And then eventually I got married and started attending his church.
Wow.
And my husband is kind of one of his children. Right? So he passed by one day and he just greeted me, like normal church member. Of course, he would greet everybody with excitement. And then during the week, I got a call on my phone for, not greeting me well with the excitement as someone he knows.
Exactly.
And that day I was like, wait, somebody of that authority in the church calling me. It's so fantastic. I will never, ever, ever forget. I'm talking about... This one heavy for my mouth. He doesn't like anything to be added to his name, but I cannot do that. So I will say Evangelist Dele Adeyemi, a teacher of the Word of God and the convener of the ministry of Moses Orimolade. You're very much welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, my sister.
It's so good to have you.
I can't remember.
You cannot remember. Of course, you may not. But as I said, I will never. It rang a bell.
Those are those things we bear in our minds.
Honestly.
It's a pleasure to be here. And I say happy centenary anniversary to all Seraphs all over the world.
Thank you. Thank you
Welcome,
very
sir.
much. And then very, very, very close to me, I had to, ask the pronunciation of his name so I
So that
sure.
you don't be sued.
But I you get it. But I love to pronounce his name. The Badagrians, they have the kind of way you hear Kwenayon, Senayon. And it's so sweet to call. So I have with me Dr. Jerry Padono. He is the General Secretary, CNS Society.
Wow.
You're welcome, sir.
Welcome.
It's so good to have you.
very much. And thanks for having me.
And I hope I got the name very correctly.
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
It's like you said, it's a sweet name because
It's so sweet.
it simply means pillar.
Wow.
Padon is pillar of the house. Pillar of a garden, pillar that holds the house.
What is
Padon.
Kwenayon?
Interesting.
What?
Kwenayon.
That's not like Kwenayon. It's Senayon.
Senayon.
Yes.
We have Senayon.
What's Senayon?
That's like good luck.
Good luck. Okay, thank you very much for enlightening me. All right, so we go straight to it. I asked them 2 questions in my introduction. Again, English people will say a house divided against itself cannot stand. But it has been 100 years of the cherubim and seraphim. So, are we really standing? Is the house really standing? Or, as I said, is it a time bomb waiting to explode? I would have Apostle Olabitu there first.
Thank you very much. For me, I will say the house is standing solidly.
Despite the division.
I wouldn't call that division. I would rather say it's the expression of opinion, discretions.
Oh.
It's still the same family. Still the same fold. No matter how we react at this time, so many things cannot be altered. And the foundation is pure.
Absolutely.
Immaculate. Like I've said, very solid. As we progress, we shall unveil some other things.
Evangelist Adeyemi, do you agree that the house is standing?
It's standing.
Very solid. And do you agree that it is not division, but expression of opinion, as Apostle Olabi said?
Well, thank you for the question. I will say, Sharness standing. If Sharness was not standing, we would not be here. Yeah. Okay. So Sharness is standing, but maybe I will differ a bit from Daddy. Not solidly. We're standing. In spite of all, let me say this. I do not think there's any church in the world that is as abused and seen as such. And what this church has, he has been able to absorb for the past 100 years. I do not think that there's any church in the world that can.
We stand.
I do not think so. So if we are still standing here, I think it calls for celebration. Even though we still have to look at it and say, isn't it the time for us to have a rethink and look at how to put some things in place? Because what we are avoiding for the past 100 years still here is during this centenary. And we cannot run away from that. So I will say it calls for celebration. It calls for celebration. Sickness is standing. That's a miracle. And that's a miracle. That's a miracle. So for us to be standing, I think that's something that we have to celebrate 100 years of God's faithfulness in spite of man's unfaithfulness.
I'm so curious. What do you mean miracle when you say it's a miracle that is still standing?
You see, it's only a Sickness church that one can just start. I can decide on my own. Say I've received a call my wife, my children, and say I want to start a church. And I'll determine my doctrine. I'll determine my practices. I'll determine whatever I want to do, and there's nobody that can do anything about it.
No checkmate.
I do know we have a unification as it is now. But if I want to start my church today and say this one I determine, what can you do about it? And so that's it. You can't do that in CSC. You can't do that in Redeemed Church. I'm not saying those churches are perfect. Far from it. But I'm saying, you can just start. That is the problem of we have in CNS. You can just start, determine what you want to do, determine you start the church, I become Babaladra. Whether you want to agree with me or not, I become Babaladra. Nobody can do anything about it. And that's why I say, see, God has been faithful. But I have to be very sincere to do that. We, as members, have been very unfaithful.
Okay, so Dr. Okpado, thank you, sir. Dr. Okpado, what do you have to say?
Well, for me, I agree partially.
That is standing
with my two babas.
Oh, on the fact that it's standing.
Yes.
Partially.
Partially. Partially, in the sense that yes, for us to be together for this centenary.
Is standing.
Okay.
But like that's why I say partially. But like my colleague here said, there are more to it that need to be addressed. So I won't, maybe we still have course to go on with the program.
Okay. No, but just to clarify, you said for us to be together for this centenary.
Yes.
Are we really together?
I said for us to be standing.
Okay,
That's why I say at least for CNS to be 100, CNS
as a whole,
to be
100.
It's called for celebration. That's why I say partially, but there are more to it.
Okay. So we are basically looking at the division, unity issues, everything today. And I want to also quite agree that yes, for us to still have CNS church, right? CNS churches, as I can put it, then of course, yes, the church
form of standingness
is standing. I like that English, standingness. So let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the root. Of course, there are so many opinions out there. This was what led to the division. This was what happened. This is this that happened. This is what exactly is the correct thing that we can say happened and led to everything we see today in the name of sects. How exactly did it begin? What were the circumstances around the split that we have? I'm coming back to you, sir.
Let me state once again.
Okay.
Through God's grace, at 100 years, the church is still standing.
Glory.
It is God's faithfulness, loving kindness, and purpose for the Cherubim and Seraphim Church that we're having what we're having today. If you look across the various divides, as it were, we are still using the same logo for these anniversary celebrations. We are still using the same theme, Zephaniah 3:20, for these celebrations. We have so many things in common. Maybe little disagreements here and there.
Little disagreements.
Here and there. For a church that is as big as the Cherubim and Seraphim, an indigenous church, for which there was no literature at the beginning, but through the instrumentality of the Holy Spirit, is not uncommon. When you go back to the first century of the Christians, at the very beginning, there were disagreements between Peter and Paul. There were disagreements between Peter and Paul and Barnabas. One picked the other as his partner, the other picked another one. It's natural. But at the end of the day, they all preach Christ. It's the same thing replicating here today. We are still the same CNS. None of us is ready to throw away that name. Yes. Yeah. No matter the disagreements. For instance, just yesterday, somewhere, yesterday, 29th of August, we all sat down as members of the same family for the same celebration. So it's not as if go to your 10 zone. He said, no, minor disagreements, which are common. Now, coming back to your question, well, I was not there at the beginning. We're talking about 100 years ago.
All right.
All I know is that the way we have it in the records, the church was founded by Moses Urimalade Tuolashi, with her mother, Captain Christian Abiodun Emmanuel, as the co-founder. The records are there. It's not at this stage you will be shifting the goalposts where the match is on. We've all held that as a rallying point since 70s, 80s, 90s. It is not just apt at this time to start rewriting the history. If we have gone this far, then we could continue going this way till eternity.
Even with the minor disagreements, as you put it, sir, that has led to a lot of. At the top of my head, I just want to say 20 seconds.
Time will surely heal that.
Time will heal.
Yes.
So we leave the disagreements, probably allow them fester, and just believe that time will heal them.
If they did not fester yesterday, a decade ago, 2 decades ago, 3, 4, 5 decades ago, I don't see them going beyond the moment.
Okay. You you shake, you go down. Okay, so I'd like you to come here, Evangelist Adeyemi. Of course, as I said in the introduction, and some of those things that we see that you do, you are the convener of the ministry of Moses Urimalade. So, what can you say about the foundation?
Thank you. You see, one of our songs, ìpìlẹ̀ tí Jésù fi lélẹ̀ lèyí. Tí bàbá aládùúrà ń tọ̀ kí ẹ̀dá má ṣe rò wípé ó yẹ kúrò níbẹ̀. There's no doubt about the fact that the foundation upon which Cherubim Seraphim is standing is firm, is real, and that foundation is Jesus Christ. But let me say this. There are ways that fathers think. Maybe we kids, we may not necessarily agree with the fathers all the time. And why do I say this? You see, there's another in Yoruba, and please permit me to say it, so I don't know how to put it in English. Yoruba name to ba gwejule rumba. If you have a way of seeing things that ordinary eyes will not see, you'll be scared. Now, if I don't want to have any idea why God established cherubim and seraphim should be afraid. If the reason why I say this centenary cost for celebration, because 100 years. 100 years, in spite of all, we should celebrate. But you see, when you understand the purpose of God for cherubim and seraphim, the reason why I say this, the reason why probably we look at CRS and we do CRS the way we do it is probably because we don't know CRS. And you will never know CRS until you understand church history.
Church history.
If you don't know church history, if you don't know what was before this order came, when you talk of Ogoji ọdún ni ọmọ fi bẹ̀bẹ̀, Ogoji ọdún ni bàbá fi bẹ̀bẹ̀, the son played there for 40 years.
Likewise, the father.
The father considered it for another 40 years before CRS was started. And you see, when we don't understand this, we will begin to think that CRS is just like any other church. And I'm not saying CRS is superior to any other church. No, I am not saying. I'm only saying there is a purpose for this order. The purpose akpala shekegbe títí gbogbo ìfọ́jú ọkàn yóò fi tán láyé. No, kì í ṣe pé títí gbogbo ìfọ́jú ọkàn yóò fi tán ní CRS.
Láyé.
Meaning, something came. And when you look at the historical background of the time the Holy Mother came, you will know that we have lost our path. What God has set for us, we have lost it. Let me say it very clearly. It was Moses that God called to bring Israelites out of Egypt.
Right.
Moses was afraid. I was giving God all excuses. So God said, I will send your elder brother to go with you, Aaron. The call of Moses stands without the call of Aaron. The call of Aaron cannot stand without the call of Moses. It's not because the call of Moses is superior to the call of Aaron, but because the call of Aaron by divine arrangement is to every the call of Moses. So when Aaron wants to stand on his own, Aaron cannot be able to stand because that call is dependent on the call of Moses. Let me say very clearly, CRS does not have co-founder. He never came up. I cannot. Moses Orimale Tola say is the call. In fact, the man never even called himself father. Jah Jehovah. No degbe is like Isharika. He was the one that had the vision. He had the encounter. CRS did not just start in 1925. The ministry of Orimale did not start in 1925. Moses Orimale had 3 phases of ministry. The first one was at the Kare, the leader of Christian sect in the Kare. The second phase of his ministry was his evangelical talk to the four corners of Nigeria for 8 years between 1960 and 1924. So CRS started in 1925 at the third phase of his ministry. So when God wants to call you, I've never seen anybody that God called, and he will not know that God wanted to call him. God doesn't call anybody because he's good, he's beautiful, he can speak the word. You bring the call from heaven. It's not just on the earth that you go. So, and we never saw in any of the fathers and mothers any traces of any encounter before the time, 1925, for us to say that there's somebody that was to co-fund it. Remember, before Moses Orimale even died, he saw that one out. Unless you don't want to go through it.
So you're saying this because from the sound of your voice with all authority and clarity.
Because there are evidences. See, a lot of time. And I said this. How old am I? I just celebrated 48 2 weeks ago. August 16th.
Belated happy birthday, sir.
Thank you. No, so there's no way. Daddy was saying he was not privy. If Daddy was not privy, what time do I have? Basically, we have records. The record of the registration of this order on 14 February 1930. We have the record of the interaction between Baba and Mama Abeodo Akishon. We have the record of the letter with which, and I don't want to start controversial. Do you want to hear the truth?
Of course.
We have the letter with which Moses Orimolade excommunicated Mama Abeodo Akishon from CRS. I said, go and start your own. Oh. So you are not going to say somebody that the father in his life, when he was alive, sent out of the church is a co-founder. How? I don't get it.
So, sir, is that a misconstruction or misrepresentation by? Because a lot of hearsays now is that the CRS has co-founder. like we've been hearing it. So we really want to be sure, because there are a lot of tales we've heard that Baba Moses Orimolade is not just the founder of the church, that Mama is also a co-founder. Are you categorically telling us that Mama is not a co-founder?
The first time that Moses Orimolade got to Lagos was 12 July 1924, during the epidemic. He was at Agege when they came for him to come and pray. When he prayed, on 11 September, he returned back to Ifako, Agege. The last time that Orimolade came, and the second time he came to Lagos to start his ministry, was 20th of December 1924. When he came to Lagos, he was a public sermonist. He was moving from one place to sermonizing. I was gathering something. The encounter of Baba Moses Orimolade and Mama Abiodun Akishawan was on June 25, 1925. When Mama was in trance and when Mama was sick. There are two things that happened to Mama. Mama was sick and Mama was in trance. At the time that they met, Mama was 17 years and a half of age. Orimolade was 46 years of age. Mama was a teenager. Mama Abiodun was a teenager when he met Moses Orimolade. She was 17 years of age because she was born on 25th of December 1907. Oh yes. So if you do not have, Orimolade was born in 1879. So Orimolade was 46. Mama was 17 years of age. She was not 18. So at the time that Baba said Mama should leave, Mama was 20 years of age.
Okay.
So we are talking of a girl here. We are not talking of probably a woman.
A lady.
A lady, as it were. Pardon the choice of my word. Not derogatory at all. So I just want us to have an idea of what it was like. So 46 to 20. And as at that time, like I said, when you talk of co-foundership, you talk of course, I mean, there are so many events in CNS. And I'm not trying to be controversial, but you see, there are some things that we are running away from. We ran away from it for the past 100 years. Here is Ed. And by the way, we are not celebrating 100 years together. Because I understand the time taken that they are celebrating separately. Oh, yes.
That is why I had to ask the other time that
so we cannot say together. We are together. We are not together. And it's so obvious that we are not together. You know my fear? This is that we are avoiding. The next generation that are coming, our children will abandon this order. Oh yes. See, there are issues for the past 100 years that we are running.
Is it based on this unity different sect or
because when we say we are together together in purpose, is that correct? Are we really together? Because there are some questions that my children will ask me that I may not be able to answer them, and if I'm going to answer them, I may give them political response. And you know these kids, they will get to the root and say, what is daddy saying? So for me, let's be clear, we have a father. And I want to ask, have we ever seen God call two people to do one assignment in the Bible? Moses and Aaron, is the assignment the same? God said, you, Moses, you are the one I'm sending. You will be a God to your elder brother Aaron. Aaron was the elder brother of Moses. See, whatever I say to you, you say to him, he says to the people. Of course, it's toward the same goal, but different responsibilities. So we cannot come here and say there's a co-founder. Co-founder from where?
Okay, so it's a hot. So I would like to have so Padunu give an input on this. Now, just looking at what we have in the studio now, we have two lines of thoughts already. Is it not devastating, sir, that in the first episode of this podcast that we did, we talked about how it is so sad that we do not have the history richly documented. So what we have now and what we have heard in the studio now, is it not devastating based on unavailability of documentation or rich, let me not say documentation now, rich history handed down solidly from generation to another? Because majorly what we have out there is oral, and to say this in Yoruba, to toshe bi owe pe oral kere tí ò bá lé adiko. Is this now one of the problems of improper documentation that we have plaguing us today?
Thank you very much. It's not a matter of improper documentation. It is a matter of saying the story to suit my own purpose.
Telling the story to suit
my own purpose.
Let me take from the basis. Baba said before that he was not privy to it.
100
None of us were privy to it.
Right.
But some of us are lucky to be a little bit advantageous over this story. Because like he said, let's go back to the basis. It is true. Baba, just like he said, like my brother said here, it's pure truth. The journey of Baba down to Lagos. But see, the purpose of God is beyond human comprehension.
Yes, sir.
And everybody has a purpose on earth. God that proposed Baba Rimolade to take that tour to Lagos has a purpose.
Right.
And Baba Rimolade, like he said, has an evangelical ministry, not a church. No church. He's a preacher going from here to here, evangelizing, praying. Mama Abiodun, a young lady, pretty lady, in her prime, in the age that is supposed to explore life, has a call. And that call was not that it was not predetermined or there was no premonition. In her innocence, got tranced up. He was caught up in the trance. I mean, prior to the trance, he has been dreaming, seeing this angel, this and that. And thank God, me here today. I said before that we are advantageous. I have that advantage to work with Mama Abiodun till death.
Oh wow. Okay.
I work with Mama Abiodun till death. Her later years. So all this story, we've been hearing divergent of stories.
Exactly.
Yes.
And like I said, everybody was just cooking up story to suit
their purpose.
And see, all these things, Baba Mande is gone. Mama is gone. Where is it heading us to? Where is it heading us to? That's why I said I agree partially, because me, myself, I always said it openly that unification is on paper, but in practice,
it is not.
There's no unification. Let's go to the history.
Okay.
Mama Abiodun got up in trance. Mama Abiodun was not sick, but because the situation then was strange.
So the felt
no one knows.
Okay.
Nobody know about Orioke. It has never happened. So Mama Abiodun was a Methodist.
I heard so too.
Together with her guardians, the Hunumayet. So nobody know about Orioke. So he was got up in Orioke. He entered into trance. And from there, they thought it's cold. They are robbing this and they are trying many things. Until he starts saying things that is out of this world. He was caught up heavily above there. They were showing him her things. She too said it that she cannot say most of the things. They can only say some. Because it was from one firmament to the other, one firmament to the other. So on the 21st day, it is even July, because if you calculate 21 days from June 18, when she was caught up. So on the last day, he now sent message to Baba Rimolade. They know him as Baba Lara because he has been evangelizing
and praying around there.
See, if we refuse to just give God the credence for the formation of CNS. That is why we are concocting all this divergence of story just coming up. I said it in one forum. I was trying to ruminate and was thinking aloud throughout the whole church, throughout the whole world. Which church bears two names? No church bears two names: Cherubim and Seraphim. So God has proposed it that way. Who are we to question God? And in the heavenly realms, we know one is male, one is female. So Baba that came to Lagos,
one is warrior and the singer.
Baba that came to Lagos, God has a purpose for it. And for him to team up with Captain Abiodun, God has a purpose. So Captain Abiodun, it was in the chance that Captain Abiodun said for Baba Rimalade, that all this thing you are doing, go and call Baba Rimalade, Baba Ladra, they call him that time. So they went. It was even raining. Baba Rimalade said, rain is falling now. How will he come to Sabah from Agoshofi? So the third time, from the chance, Mama said they should tell Baba that the rain can only wet the body, not the soul. So upon hearing that message, Baba said, this is a spiritual message. He got up. He went there. And the first miracle, Baba Rimalade walked inside the rain without umbrella, where the rain did not wet him. The first miracle, the rain did not. And when Baba entered where Mama was lying, he said, the glory of God is in this house. You know, the Baba Rimalade part is just where Mama sokale, Oche isokale. That's the basis. Oche sokale ori oke for Mama. So when Baba prayed for Mama, she was Itura onto Lara and what have you. So from there, that's where the team came from. They were together. So they know Baba as Aladra. So when the people start now coming, that the story is everywhere that one little girl say he saw angel, one small girl will tell you about your future, one small girl will tell you what will happen tomorrow. This and that. So people start talking. So see, CNS is based on prayer and vision. So when they come around like that, so people start trooping, they will pray, there will be vision, they will be telling about tomorrow, this and that. So people now start coming, so from there,
they got together, working.
They got together. So the division. So when people start, in their innocence, Baba made that statement before. That statement. One day, I sat myself, I was thinking, CNS, why this much of disagreement? See, before CNS, we have the Orthodox churches.
Yes.
That were established.
Yes.
But CNS was established based on spirituality. There's no documentation. Nothing to that. There's no like a rules, regulation, and what have you. And because the crowd is, they said, that
was at the beginning.
At the beginning. That's why they call it Egbe. Egbe Loruko. So there was no prevention of forming a church. But because people just came, they pray, and they receive vision, so the gathering is becoming much.
Just to interrupt a little bit, so according to you now, Baba Rimalade was not even thinking to form a church.
There's no church that time.
So it was just an evangelism movement.
Yes, movement.
Okay.
That's the ministry of evangelism. Yes, ministry of evangelism.
Okay.
There's no church.
Okay.
It was the team up of Mama and Baba that people start coming, that they form CNS.
Yes. Okay.
It was even Seraphim that was initially named.
So from what you're saying now, it was because the crowd was getting so much
That's
that they
when
had to
give it.
form a church. So how then do we say ogójì ọdún ni
Bàbá fi gbẹ́gbẹ́.
Baba fi gbẹ́bẹ̀ ká lè dá ẹgbẹ́ yìí sílẹ̀?
I told you earlier before that, the plan of God.
Okay.
They did not come together today and say they want to start church tomorrow.
Okay.
It was not it was not their plan. But because it has been established from the heavens.
Okay.
And through the spirit, through the vision, ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ ẹgbẹ́ ló, they did not even call it church. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ ẹgbẹ́ yìí lórúkọ.
Okay.
That's why ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ ẹgbẹ́ lórúkọ. Nípa Ọlọ́run ní ká sọ ẹgbẹ́ lórúkọ.
Okay.
And there, Seraphim came. That was September 9, 1925. They started July. So September 9, yes.
About 2 months after.
September 9, 1925.
Oh, okay.
Very interesting. Okay, so can I just ask this?
No, are you done, sir? Are you?
Well, we'll see.
Okay. So no, before you ask your next question, I think Apostle Ulabi wants to say something real quick because I'm looking at him.
Exactly.
Let me correct one impression.
Okay.
I did say inter alia that the association, the organization, the ministry was through the instrumentality of the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
I want to put it on record. Saint Moses Orimalade Tuolashe was not called like any other evangelist, preacher of the word and source. He was sent from heaven. One, biblical Moses was called when he was a shepherd to pastor the largest church in history. Elijah was called, Jeremiah was called. Elisha, who performed twice the miracles of Elijah, was called as a farmer. When he was doing farming business, working on the farm. That was when Elijah called. But Saint Moses Orimolade Tuolashe was sent. He never had a vocation. He never had a career. He came after the formative stage, like Jesus Christ had for 30 years before he started his ministry. Orimolade had that in between 1879 to 1916 when he left Ikare Akuku. And like my brother did say, he went up north, south, before settling in Lagos. It was in July 24 that 1924 that the eagle landed in Lagos. And so many miracles were performed before the encounter with Mama on June. The encounter which started on June 18, 1925, which climaxed when Baba eventually went from Agoshofi to Saba before Mama moved to Agoshofi, where the organization started. We must put it on record. Baba went around the country as an itinerant evangelist, not with the purpose of forming a church. Or even any organization. He was doing that was commanded from heaven. Captain Christiana Abiodun Emmanuel, by divine arrangement, was the catalyst in the life of Baba. And that allowed the glory of God to shine in that ministry.
Catalyst for CNS, right?
Catalyst.
No, for the formation of the CNS church. Okay, but not for his ministry. I just needed to clarify that.
The combination, the coming together was the beginning of what we are talking about now. For somebody who left Ikare in 1979, and this thing had to come to fruition in 1925. 1916 to 1925. That is God's arrangement. It goes beyond human comprehension. And that we must recognize. And in fairness to the duo of this patriarch and matriarch, neither called himself a founder, nor the other a co-founder.
Okay.
It was after their demise that people now started allocating positions.
So we all in this room have come to a kind of a solid one agreement. It's just so it is the order of God, not just
divine arrangement, not human contemplation.
So
why our song which says Jaji over? So it was a spiritual song from the spirit. Jaji over.
So why do we now have this conversation of matriarch, patriarch,
co-founder,
founder? You mentioned something earlier, and I think that is really profound. Is my very sweet word.
I observed that
people were not telling the stories to suit
their own purpose.
Is that not a deviation already, a dilution of this mission? I would want Evangelist Adeyemi to say something right now. Is that not a dilution or dilution of the mission itself?
I want to thank the fathers that seated. You see, my desire is for this order, as Solomon Alade called it, or association, to fulfill the mandate of God upon her. And the mandate of God upon Cherubim and Seraphim is for this order to positively influence the rest of Christianity.
Yes.
And that's why the father rightly said that at the beginning, it's not even just at the beginning, until the mother died, the issue of church did not arise. It's not just at the beginning. There was nothing like a church. Sadness never had any morning service. Oh yes. Sadness did not used to have Sunday morning service because the members of the band belong to other denominations. They used to have a service on Wednesday evening, intercession on Thursday evening, then open air crusade on Sunday evening. Orimolade was the one that initiated open air crusade in Nigeria. No one did it before him. It was later when he was going, when miracles began to happen, that he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. That day on which the fast ended was the day that Isu Saturday started. And that was the day that God gave the revelation of the inspiration of that sort to Agbara Kanati Lord of Pentecost. And that was when we now had Isu Saturday added to our services, making 4. So all the services of silence at the beginning was in the evening. But let me say, see, like I said, I don't want to sound controversial. You know my own point. My point is that I want us to realize our destiny. And the only way we can realize our destiny is to learn from the mistakes. See, we are running away from mistake of the past. We are running away from the mistake of the past. And when we don't learn from it, see, honestly, when I look at the story of Mama Abiadu, you know what happened? I had a lot of pity on Mama. You know why? Mama was a young girl for heaven's sake. Okay. What she was exposed to, the unusual encounter that she had,
the spiritual,
was way bigger. At that point in time, Mama needed help. Because she was a teenager. Come, for heaven's sake. I mean, why would a teenager want to leave sadness in the first place? I don't think that she would have thought about that. But you see, a lot of things happen. Let's leave that. Now, my point is this. there are documents. Please do not say Silence does not have documentary. We do have.
But they are not well documented.
I corrected myself earlier.
See, we do have, and it will be a deceit for us to say that here. I said there are no documents. There are documents, of course. The set of Musolumala Silence was registered on February 14, 1930, and he stated his doctrine. He stated in the constitution. They are there. The letter with which Mama and Baba parted ways, they are there. It's a public document. It's not that anybody formulated it. If you go to the Library of University of Ibadan, I can give you the number. I didn't know that this will come up. I will have stated the number. You will get it in that file. It's a public document. The letter that Baba wrote on March 8, 1925, with which she said Mama Abiodun, she lived in and Silence. It's documented, of course. It's there now. So it's not about anybody or so from one generation to another. These are documents. There are documents to that effect. Like I said, I don't want to go through that route. I don't want to say as if I'm trying to heap a lot of blame on Mama. But what I'm saying is this. You see, what happened then is still happening now. Where people that God has given a kind of privilege, grace. Baba stated very clearly in that letter that Mama Abiodun was one of the first fruits of his labor in Lagos. And he said, I took special interest in you. Oh, Orimalade loved Abiodun Akishomon to death. In fact, based on what I read, in fact, Orimalade overloved Mama. Orimalade, see, why did they call Mama captain? I told you that Mama just, a teenager. But for every evangelical talk, Mama was the captain. That's where the name captain came from now. Mm-hmm. She had people that elderly than her. Probably they are old enough to be her father, but she was the head of every evangelical church. So when you read Egbeyeko, Pelu Ibadan, Ijebu ati Ilesha, Ondo ati Abeokuta, Agege. See, when you read those words, Mama was the captain, was the leader of the Olumalade evangelical team. So if you give that kind of position of responsibility to a young girl, how do you show love? How do you show confidence? In one of the evangelical tour, when they went on evangelism to Little Land, and they told Orimalade that Mama was sick in the course of that. I think it was around Ilé or something. And Orimalade got to know. Orimalade was praying, he did 7 days prayer and fasting that nothing should happen to my daughter. Of course, Abiodun Akishomon will call Orimalade my father. Orimalade will call her my daughter. So it was a cordial, very cordial, and that's why I said Mama needed help. I do not think that this would have happened if Mama had been rightly cancelled. And on that day, when Mama will return from that tour, it's not only Mama that went on that evangelical tour. He went with the rest of the evangelists. When they came, Baba went sent to police and said, I want to honor my daughter, who is coming from the hinterland. And they gave him a police escort. I mean, all this backless vehicle that you go to see, that was the day that they sang, Mashishole. That was the day that that's why. And Mama was waving to the right and left until they deliver Mama to her father, which is supposed to Orimalade to us. For you to know the kind of how cordial they were at the beginning. So, Orimalade loved Abiodun Akishomon to overlove her.
So you would put it that it is the weight of that responsibility and maybe human influence that led to all of this. Just yes or no?
There's a reason why you see everyone that God has called from the word in the word of God. He doesn't call them as kids to any ministry. Okay. I told you Jesus Christ started his ministry. Jesus Christ started his ministry at the age of 30. He died at the age of 33 and a half. When the God called Moses was called at the age of 80. He ran away from Egypt at the age of 40. He spent another 40 years with his father-in-law. He was at the age of 80 that Moses was called. And that's why I'm emphasizing that age factor.
So that is a yes to my question.
God is going to call Mama Adai. You see, Mama should be on that tutelage at the time she went to start out.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying. See, you can't take anything away from the. You can't. Of course, you can't take the issue of silence without Mama Abiodun.
Exactly.
So you can't take anything away from her. You cannot. Nobody can take anything from her. But I'm saying, you see, the who does not make the monk. Is that what they say? Is it the monk that make the hook?
Why?
Because you say the Samaritan woman, I was one that had a encounter with Jesus Christ, and I was one that went to call other people come and see I've seen Christ. So does it mean that will take a shy away from Jesus?
Okay, not okay. Thank you very much.
Having established it now that we cannot do away with the name Mama Captain Abiodun in the history of CNS Church.
Cannot.
So this will lead me to the next question, and I'm directing that to Dr. Sir. What is now the legacy of Mama Captain Abiodun in the history of CNS? And then why is leadership being minimized when we talk about this official documentation, official history of the church, sir? So what can you say to why leadership role is not really pronounced like we have for Baba, Moses, or Rimolade, owing to the fact that we've just established now that she cannot be written off when it comes to CNS.
And then to add to that, to now see that it is now leading to a
power tussle of today's
in the church
today.
Well, it is with this present day that is making a matter out of a molehill.
Okay.
The issue of, like you said before earlier, Mama and Baba. Captain Abiodun call him Baba. He call it Omowa. Omowa. Baba say Omowa. Kilori. To ask for vision. So they see that, like Baba said before, Captain Abiodun is a catalyst for the formation. So Baba Rumade, when they started the early church, cannot do without Captain Abiodun. Because when they pray, it is vision people came to hear.
Yeah.
Something will happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, you must not go out to something. So it's happened like that. So when they named the church, I had this thing from Mama directly, like I said. They said they want to do Captain Balogun Egbe on September 29. Like my brother said before, all the members, they are from all these Orthodox, and they are wealthy, very wealthy people. So when they say September 39, they want to form Afenyo Balogun fún Egbe Seraphim. They thought within themselves that I will be the Balogun and what have you.
Oh.
So eventually, when a heavenly host was named as Balogun, which is Holy Michael, and it is this Holy Michael that is the guardian angel of Mama Abiodun throughout her trance. It was not that taking her from one place to another. In fact, when they ask question that's out of this world, because it's heavenly realm, it is Michael that will be telling Mama what she's supposed to say. To skip to, I don't want to go into that. So eventually, when the captain was named Balogun, people feel disgruntled. And from there they say, where is this Captain Abiodun that is influencing Baba? This and blah 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 blah.
Oh. Okay, because Holy Michael is her own guardian angel, as you said. So they feel that she. Oh, okay.
So now the Egbe is, and every November they always go out for procession like this and that. So they started, machination of the devil, and I hold on to John 17. I call it the will of Jesus Christ to all Christians. Unity. You know that is the machination of the devil. Like someone said before, so they saw that as an opening. They now start machination here and there. Why Baba will be respecting, will be referring to this guy every time. Why is it that? Because they sit together.
They go kart.
They sit together. In all the services, and they feel that obìnrin and it's obìnrin lásán and ọmọ kékeré. That is where all these imaginations came from. That like it's a Baba and Mama, they are glued together. But the forceful vision, one of their procession, Mama and Baba was sitting in the go-kart. So they pull Mama out of the go-kart.
People.
Yes. So two is this small guy obìnrin. they pull Mama out of the go-kart, and that is where the division started. It is not that some people say Mama has ambition. That small girl, he never had ambition. So it was during the crisis that he have to stay away, because it was obvious that our affair. This thing led to court case. Not this one, led to court case. So when they parted way, now they have Cherubim Seraphim Church. That is the name.
Okay, so before we go further, Evangelist Adeyemi was talking about a letter where Nosy Maladi told Mama to leave. You said also when they parted. So let's have that in between. Evangelist Adeyemi, can you take us further on that? What, according to the books, as you said, the history, the letter, what led to that? Baba saying she should leave and then church. She should go with an instruction, go and form
start your own.
Her own.